welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that honestly feels less like a topic and more like just the air we breathe now.
Mm.
You know that feeling. You look at the world and it feels like the very ground under your feet is shifting.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like the rules of the game are dissolving while we're still trying to play it.
Exactly. And today we're going to lean into that feeling. We're going to explore why evil might just be a lack of thinking and why all this chaos might actually be, well, a forced invitation to wake up. To do that, today, I'd like to introduce Naruto-san's newsletter and delve deeper into the topic.
Oh, Naruto-san. He's a thinker who consistently shares unique perspectives on Earth's future, soul growth, and living in the AI era, right?
Yes, he has published 10 books so far. And in this particular piece, he weaves together three, absolute giants of thought, Zygmunt Bauman, Thomas Kuhn, and Hannah Arendt, to explain this collective vertigo we're all feeling.
It's a really ambitious synthesis. You have Bauman's idea of a melting world, Kuhn's philosophy of how reality breaks, and then Arndt's frankly terrifying insights into evil.
And the mission here is to understand why we feel so anxious, why responsibility seems to be vanishing, and what our real choices are in this era. So let's start at the beginning. Zygmunt Bauman and this concept of liquid modernity.
Right.
It sounds cool, but what does it actually mean?
Well, it's not just that things are changing fast. I mean, that's part of it. But Bauman's point is much deeper. He's saying the structure of society itself, the container has melted.
The container.
Yeah. Think of old society, solid modernity, as being like ice. It had a fixed shape. Institutions were durable. You had a job for life, a stable community, clear roles. You knew where you stood.
You could lean on it.
You could lean on it. But now that ice has turned to water. It's liquid. Nothing keeps its shape. Values, careers, relationships, they're all in flux, constantly changing.
Which on the one hand sounds liberating, right? I can be anything.
But on the other hand, it's exhausting. It means you can never rest. You can never plant your feet. Because if you stand still in a flowing river, you'll just get knocked over.
And this is where, as author Naruto points out, the idea of responsibility starts to dissolve.
It's a huge point. In a fluid world, taking a firm stance is scary. It's risky. So people start to flee from responsibility. They retreat to this position of, well, it couldn't be helped, or I'm just going with the flow.
The company's bad, the government is bad, the times are just crazy. It's always something external.
Exactly. The externalization of all problems. It's a defense mechanism against the fear of being a free, autonomous person in a world with no guardrails. And this sets the stage for our next thinker.
Thomas Kuhn. This is where we get the term paradigm shift.
Yeah, and it's a term that's been so overused it's almost lost its meaning. We think it means a new iPhone model.
Right, a small upgrade.
But what Kuhn was talking about was not an evolution, it was a rupture, a total breakdown. He said we all see the world through a kind of framework, a paradigm. And for a while, that framework works.
It explains things, it lets us function.
But then reality starts producing things the framework can't explain, anomalies. And they start to pile up.
And author Naruto argues that's what's happening right now. Our current crises, inequality, climate, AI, the breakdown of democracy.
These aren't just a series of random, unfortunate events. They're the anomalies. They are all the contradictions we ignored now being, as he puts it, forcibly visualized.
I love that phrase, forcibly visualized. You can't look away anymore.
You can't. And when those anomalies reach a tipping point, the whole framework, the whole paradigm, just collapses. Your map of reality disintegrates.
And that's the source of the deep anxiety we feel. It's not just change. It's the loss of meaning itself.
Yes. A paradigm shift is basically a notification from reality that says your internal understanding no longer matches the external world. And Naruto reframes this. He says it's not a punishment.
It sure feels like one sometimes.
He calls it a mandatory invitation to awakening.
A mandatory invitation. That's a polite way of putting it.
It's reality forcing us to wake up. But this gap, this moment of collapse between the old paradigm and the new one, is incredibly dangerous. People get scared.
And when people get scared, they look for easy answers. They look for someone to tell them what to do.
And that brings us to Hannah Arendt.
Okay, so how does this connect to evil?
Well, Arndt's most famous insight from watching the trial of a Nazi officer was what she called the banality of evil.
The idea that the most terrible things aren't done by monsters.
They're done by ordinary people, people who simply stop thinking, people who just follow orders, who leave judgment to their superiors, who just want to do their job and fit in. She realized that the state of I am not thinking is in itself the greatest evil.
Wow. Okay, so let's connect the dots. This is the Naruto synthesis.
This is it. 1. Bauman's liquid society makes us feel anxious and unmoored.
2. Kuhn's paradigm shift breaks our map of reality, making us feel confused and overwhelmed.
And the result? People panic. They desperately cling to someone else's answers to escape the pain of thinking for themselves.
They just want to feel safe and normal. But in that pursuit of safety, they suspend their own judgment.
And that is how you become complicit. You don't intend to be evil, you just intend to be harmless. But that's the trap.
So why are we so bad at this? Why is it so hard to think for ourselves?
Well, as Naruto states, we're simply not trained for it. Our education system trains us to find the correct answer from a multiple choice list.
It doesn't train us to ask, is this question even the right one to be asking?
Exactly. We're never taught to look inward, to ask, why do I feel this way? Is this really my own judgment? So instead, we look outward. We project.
We project our inner fears, our anger, our desires onto the world and call them external problems.
And the ego loves that. It's so much easier to be a victim of a bad system than to admit you are the creator of your own reality, your own experience.
But if we refuse to look inside,
then the external world collapses to force us to look inside. That's the paradigm shift. The universe basically sends you a mandatory invitation you can't refuse.
So here we are at this tipping point. The old world is dissolving. What do we do? Naruto suggests there are 3 paths.
3 choices, yes. And the first one is the most common. It's blind obedience.
Stop thinking. Follow the authorities, follow the crowd, follow the algorithm.
It's the easiest path. It feels safe.
Yeah.
But it's the path of complicity in the banality of evil.
Okay, but what about the opposite? Choice 2, reactionary rebellion.
This is the clever trap. You think you're being a free thinker because you're angry and you're fighting the power.
You're shouting no.
But structurally, it's the same as obedience. It's a reflex, not a thought. If the authority says A and you automatically scream not A, you're still letting A define your position. You're just a mirror image. It's driven by emotion, not contemplation.
So both paths, obedience and rebellion, are ways of avoiding the real work.
Which brings us to the only real option. Choice 3, the path of the thinking subject.
And what does that mean in practice?
It means you keep thinking with your own head, within the range of what you can actually undertake. You don't jump to easy answers. You hold the ambiguity. You sit with the discomfort of not knowing.
That sounds exhausting and lonely.
It is the most painful path. There's no applause. No one gives you a gold star. You have to bear the full weight of your own judgment. But, as Arndt would say, it's the only way to live as a human who doesn't participate in evil.
And Naruto adds that you can't escape your own self-recognition. Deep down, you know if you took the easy way out. You know if you stop thinking.
Exactly. So this whole era, this age of awakening, it isn't sorting good people from bad people. It's a test.
The test is whether you can live as a thinking subject when all the external authorities are crumbling.
It's cruel, in a way, that the old certainties are gone. But it's also a liberation. We're being forced to finally grow up and think for ourselves.
So the final question isn't about what's going to happen to the world. It's about us.
It's about you. Will you accept this invitation to awaken? Or will you refuse it?
That's a powerful way to frame everything we're going through.
It really is. It puts the power and the responsibility right back where it belongs.
I'd like to conclude by posing one question to everyone. In a world where the correct answers are dissolving, are you choosing to think for yourself, or are you waiting for someone to tell you what to do?
A huge thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We really do encourage you to check out Naruto-san's work for yourself.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.